Hey everyone, it's Desiree. Yes, the wait is no more. I have driven you all completely crazy over the past week with wonderful sneak peeks. But what could they be? Is it new Zentangle? Art that we're going to do together? Is it a new stamp set? Is it a new collaboration? What could it be? Well, I'm going to finally answer that question for you. But let's talk about it just a little bit. Two favorite things that I absolutely love: paper crafting and being a certified Zentangle teacher. I have enjoyed both of these worlds and getting with each and every one of you. I love my channel and all of my 5 followers and subscribers. I cannot say thank you enough. I am truly grateful and honored that you show up every time I post a video. And hopefully I'm giving you a new idea, a new technique that you can put into your stash and make it your own. Because just for a moment, I need to say this. You all create art. You all are wonderful creators. And it doesn't matter how you create. Whether you just use pattern paper, whether you use watercolors, colored pencils, inks, alcohol markers, sprays, and the list can go on. It is endless. You are creating art. And I hope I'm just a part of your journey, because you're certainly a part of mine. And you all are a huge part of my journey. It's because of you all, honestly, that I've gotten the courage and the opportunity to reveal what I'm about to reveal. So again, I am truly grateful and I am truly honored that you come with me through every video. Leave your comments, hit those thumbs up, and subscribe. So that's just a little thank you. It's not enough, but it's the best we've got so far. And plus you're seeing my face. Look at that. So what could this be? These two worlds, in my mind, just needed to collide. They needed to collide in an explosive way, because you all know me, I take things to the next level. It's not just a simple die that we put together. And if it is just a simple die, we take that to the next level and we add layers and splatters. My splatters aren't even little tiny flurries. They're direct snowstorms that come across. Always take it to the next level. So for these two to collide, they had to collide explosively. And I think that's what I did. But again, when you look at all of the sneak peeks that I gave you to lead you up to this point, you still don't know what it is. Is it a class? Is it a card making tutorial? Is it a stamp set? Well, let's get to that answer now. So we're going to flip down to the table, and you're not going to see my face anymore. All right? So here we go. Okay, so now we are at the table. And yes, I could have gone live. Let me just say that too. But I can't do two things at once. I want to be able to answer your questions. So I'm actually in the chat with you right now during this premiere. And we're having all kinds of fun, I hope. So let's stop the suspense. What all of those cards came from is I have created a stamp line. There you go. These are the stamps that I created. So taking card making, the act of stamping, and the art of Zentangle inspired art, they have come together in 4 stamp sets. They are 6x6 stamp sets in different types of designs. Now, there was a lot that I thought about when it came to these designs, okay? I wanted them to show the beauty of Zentangle inspired art. I wanted them to be versatile when it came to their design. And what I mean by that is somebody who is strictly a card maker, but loves these designs that they have either seen, I show them on my channel when I do it on Sundays. It's coming back. The Zentangles on Sundays are coming back, so stay tuned. But maybe they just don't want to learn a new art. I mean, let's face it, there's so much out there. And when we try everything, it can become very overwhelming. This takes care of that. So for that individual who loves the art and has made many comments on those videos, say, this would be beautiful on a card. This would be beautiful as a border. This would be this. Here you go. Here is your opportunity. These were also designed, though, for the Zentangler in mind. For that person who loves to tangle. They can do that on these as well. Yes, they are 6x6 stamp sets, and you can see the images, and we'll go through each one, and I have tons of samples to show. While they are large in nature, we can still tangle off of them. We can still tangle within them. So we can make each of these designs our own for those that love to tangle. All mediums can be used with these. Watercolors, colored pencils, chalk pastels, just the graphite, alcohol markers, sprays, emboss resist. We can emboss. Every technique that we can do in the card making world and the Zentangle world, we can do with these. So we've covered each of the aspects when it comes to this. I'm going to show you each stamp set individually, and then we're going to get into the samples. Now, where can you get these? These are live on my website at www.includeathankyou.com. The link is down below. These are available as I am speaking right now. These have officially launched. There is a bundle available, so you can get these individually. So if there's just one that you absolutely love and have to have, you can get just that one, of course. And there is a bundle that's put together of all 4 stamp sets. So if you love all 4, you will have a savings when it comes to getting all 4 of the stamp sets. All right, so make sure you check it out or hang out here because I'm going to be giving some more information. So let's start looking at them. So our first one is called A Wave of Tangles. These are 3 different tangles that have been put together. So we have flux. This is Hollis that's waving through this pattern. And then we have Moon Pie that's coming in as well. I've added general sentiments to each of them. So here I have just a note, happy everything, and thoughts and prayers. So kind of hitting on different levels there. All right, so that's our first one. And then, of course, this is what the back looks like. For our next one, this one is called a tangled mandala. Absolutely love this one. This one's going all over the place. It's a nice big, here's my hand over this. This has crescent moon, myrrh, printemps, moon pie, foundabout, and we're going to stop right there because there's more for this one. The sentiments that I have are just breathe, happy everything. You guys know that is like one of my favorite sentiments. Let's celebrate, happy birthday, and then it's your day, and celebrate. So we can say just breathe and celebrate, happy birthday and celebrate, or happy birthday, it's your day. Let's celebrate, it's your day, and so forth. So this is called a tangled mandala. Our next one, and for those of you that know me, you know flux had to come in to the mix. That's this tangle here. So we have created a border for this one and also a corner piece. We also have hello, happy birthday, enjoy, the moment, the little things. And again, we can add these sentiments to the word enjoy. This one is called a tangle in bloom. And that is flux. Our last stamp set is called a tangled Christmas. Now I'm just going to turn this here. So we have this beautiful ornament with a cluster of tangles going up and creeping up, taking it over, and we have a background. We also have the sentiments tangled joy, Christmas hugs, wishing you a tangled Christmas, believe in the magic, merry and bright, and Merry Christmas. Again, this one's called a tangled Christmas. Okay, so these are the 4 stamp sets that I have created. You know, it's funny. Designing, easy. Getting them uploaded. Woo! You know, I have grown a lot of respect for the creators of stamps. Let's go through some of the samples. So, had lots of fun making some samples. So first up here, and what I want to show you when it comes to the samples is that these stamps, while they're large in size, can be put on any size card base that you want to do. And you're going to see different sizes coming through. So our first up, we're going to show the samples for the a tangle in bloom. So that's with the flux. So here I've used it as a border and I've taken the enjoy sentiment going across. And what I did was I stamped this in distress inks and then came back in with a brush and water and just moved those inks around. You could also put that ink onto the stamp, spritz it, and then stamp it down. And then we've just added a little bit of sparkle to enjoy. You can see the size of the sentiment. It's a nice, big, bold sentiment. Our next one, I took the 2 corners. This is on a 6x6 card. I took the 2 corners, put them opposite each other, added some gems, added some watercolors into those petals of flux, used the Merry and Bright in the center, and I turned that stamp into a Christmas motif. And any of these stamp sets can be turned into a Christmas motif simply by adding the holiday sentiment and also changing your colors when it comes to that. And we've got lots of mattes going on here. So a great way to change up the look. For our next one, this is our slim line. So this slim line is 4 by 9. I like to make a 4 by 9 slim line. Used my colored pencils and created yet another rainbow going through this. And the way that this fell, I added a happy birthday here in the upper corner. So far we've used distress inks, we've used watercolors, we've used our colored pencils. You can also take these stamps and just simply use graphite. The papers that I use throughout these cards are regular Nina. I used Bristol vellum, and I've used Canson XL watercolor paper. But just by adding the graphite, you can see how the tangle becomes 3D and just adds that little bit extra something. I chose the Enjoy, even added some of the graphite pencil to the one side of it, and then the Moment, and then I just drew an and in there, the little things. So very beautiful monochrome cards. For this one, I used the border. I also used the corners. I stamped the Enjoy and embossed it, and I fussy cut around it. There are no dies available with this set, and then added the little things across that. So beautiful. They shine with the monochrome that comes through. For the next one, I'm going to show you the samples that I created for the wave of tangles. So this one here, I took the stamp. This is a 6x6 card base. This panel here is 5.5 by 5.5. Yes, I made a note of the size. And here I just stamped half of the image of Hollis. Let me pull out that stamp set so that you can see. So here's the stamp set here. Just did half of it here, stamped it again up here, and I used dye ink. And this is actually a brown. And then I stamped the happy everything. I put it up, propped that up, added a couple different embossing powders together to get that black and gold. So again, stamping it with inks. When it comes to the stamping in the black, I'm using my VersaFine black, or I'm using my Altenew Obsidian, or the VersaFine Clair, because there are fine details in these stamps. So I want to make sure that I have a good, crisp impression. But this is just dye ink. And these are the Simon Says Positively inks that I used. And you can see I still got a beautiful impression from that. All right, next one is on a standard A2 size card, and I did a tone on tone. Creates a great background. I just stamped this in Versamark ink, used clear embossing powder, added my sentiment down in the corner, and we've got this beautiful background just waving behind our sentiment. Here we have another 6x6 card. Again, just to show you the magnitude of what the stamp will cover. So here I just did this with the graphite, shading it in, stamped my image on a piece of vellum, and then just put a fine strip behind the sentiment. And it didn't cover the whole sentiment, so I don't know if you see that. So that kind of makes that pop up. But you can see just adding the graphite and creating a monochrome does a lot. Here's another 4 by 9 slim line, doing an ink resist. Stamped this with VersaFine Clear, used clear embossing powder. We get that beautiful image back there. and then just did all kinds of ink blending in behind it. Added tons of water to let it mold. Added, well, meld around, not mold. Added some gems to accent, and then stamped the sentiment, thoughts, and prayers on a piece of vellum. Very soft, but that background just helps that to stand out. For our last card, this is a 5x7 top folding. You can see I did the same thing. I stamped half of the stamp using my VersaFine. I did an ink smushed background first and just made sure that it was up on this side. But then I grabbed one of my blue microns and I continued to tangle off of it, just continuing that pattern. Now, some of you might be saying, well, now she knows how to do that. Okay, stay tuned. There's more in this announcement. And then by doing the tangles first, I was able just to sneak in that sentiment there, just a note. So we can continue to add off of them. All right, that's the wave of tangles. Next up, I'm going to show you the samples for the tangled mandala. Here we have another 6x6. I stopped at 6x6, but you can see you can add these to a 6x7, add dies around them of florals if you wanted to, and have this mandala come out of it. More samples will be coming. I will be doing a video. Here I used watercolor pencils. Yes, watercolor pencils on this. Just filled in those areas and kind of, again, just did that rainbow, starting with purple, making it look like a gem, and then going to the blues, the greens. I've got orange, yellows, reds. Added the sentiment hello down here and added a little bit of glitter with that embossing powder, just to give that some color, but you can see the size and how much that does fill. This panel here was cut 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Next, a standard A2 size card base. So you can see top and bottom will just fit. It does go off the sides, but I actually heat embossed this one. And then just filled it in with some colored pencils just to add a little bit of color. And then added my sentiment on vellum up at the top. So just giving you lots of ideas of what you can do with these stamps. Here's another 6x6, and again, just the graphite, just to really show how the design just comes to life when we add the graphite. Here's the strip of vellum with Happy Everything, and I added 2 pearl gems at each side. And it just worked out that it was that length. I couldn't have planned that anymore when I was making this card. Just saying. Happy accident. And then our last one is another 6x6. And you can see I added more tangles inside. I added more print tops into the Foundabout. They really look like little scrolls. I added, that's called Diva Dance Rock and Roll, in the gem section. And I added little tiny hatch marks in the moon pie. And again, in a different color of pen. I do like to use the micron pens. And then again, stamped the sentiment on a piece of vellum and just added a smaller strip and placed it right under the center of the sentiment. It's not underneath the whole sentiment, but it helps for the sentiment to stand out. For our last stamp set, oh, wait a minute, I have one more card. One more card. Now, what I did with, could you imagine if I was live? Just say, what I did with the tangled mandala is I stamped it down. This is a standard A2 size card base. I stamped it down, and then I stamped it again on another piece, and I fussy cut around the foundabouts. I don't know if the camera is going to pick that out, but I fussy cut around it and propped it up using double-sided foam tape and squares to give that dimension. So you can cut sections out of each of these tangles. So for this one, I cut this portion out and left the moon pies down. For the wave, you can cut out these moon pies here and prop them up off of this piece if you wanted to. For the flux, you could pick and choose some of these petals to prop up, or stamp it and use your craft knife to cut around and prop them up to give them dimension. So again, we've got all of these possibilities when it comes to that stamp set. And again, just use the graphite and added Just Breathe at the bottom. Okay, our last stamp set is a Tangled Christmas. All right, so first up, there we go. This is a 6x6. I heat embossed this on vellum. So, and then I added 4 brads, 1 to each corner. And then on the back of the vellum, I added some graphite shadow so that the image would just pop right off. And then added my sentiment off to the side with just a pop of red underneath it. And then set that onto its side. You can see it's cut off here, but we just have the ornament just coming to the side. Here I have one that I used. These are chalk pastels. Stay tuned. I'll be talking about these more in another video. But these are chalk pastels. So it's like a charcoal, like the graphite that you can smooth in to add your shading. This is pastels that are just in colors. They work the same way. You would use your blending stumps to move these. No water is necessary. And I just colored each of the areas in with a different color. I have a strip of vellum going across, believe in the magic. And this is a 5x7 card. For our next one, I used watercolor pencils, to color in the image. We've got some bright, beautiful colors just coming through, but also use the colors like you would the graphite, but you can certainly color these completely in, like I did with Flux and the rainbow that came down. Absolutely your taste. I have Marion Bright up here going across. Here's this stamp set again, and those last two were 5x7. This is a 5x7, just using the graphite. And I'm very heavy-handed with the graphite. I love the graphite. I think it just adds so much. And again, just a very monochrome card. I used a red mirror cardstock just for a pop of color. And wishing you a tangled Christmas. And then another 5x7. Had so much fun with ink smushing. And actually, I did a large panel when I did this, and when I cut it off, that was the piece that I had for the wave of tangles, where I continued to tangle off of Hollis. That's where this piece came from. But embossed this in silver, and then I came in with a colored pencil and just outlined the tangled part, so this area here, to pop that off and to make that stand out just a little bit. So we've got lots of iridescent going on here. And then for our final card sample, a standard A2 size card. So yes, you're seeing a lot of 6x6s, you're seeing a lot of the 5x7s, but you are also seeing a standard size card, which is 4¼ by 5½. And these images will work on there as well. Of course, the whole image won't fit, but you can see only a portion of the ornament is lost. I actually cut out, I stamped just the cyme flower, that's the name of the tangle, and cut out the center. So now I have that propped up as well for a little bit of dimension. And who doesn't love Hero Art's red embossing powder? It is the most beautiful red embossing powder. And then just added some mats behind that. So again, standard A2 size. So those are the card samples. Now again, we don't have to limit ourselves to just cards when we create with the stamps that are in our stash or anything else. So with that said, I've made a couple tags to show you that these will fit on tags, and all I did, this is the tangled mandala and the tangled Christmas. I stamped them with white pigment ink. I heat embossed them with white embossing powder, chose a sentiment in vellum, wrapped it around, and then added the flourish of tassels that I like to do. I did add an eyelet, and these are double layered. So you have this, and this is scored so that it will open up. But I did that so I can hide the vellum going to the back. And you can make tags with these. Now, these tags here measure 2 3/4 by 4½. And you can see just how much of the image that you'll get. I used a white colored pencil. You can use white chalk just to add the little bit of embellishments on them. So yes, tags are absolutely possible. Bookmarks are absolutely possible. Now I get my cases on Amazon and of course black tassels for them. So here's the Tangle in Bloom that went right down the center. Here is the Tangled Mandala. Again, right down the center of that. You could take it off to the side if you want. Up to you. That's the beauty of stamping. We can make it look any way that we want. And then here is the wave of tangles. And it's just growing right up the bookmark. So bookmarks, possible. We can also do ornaments. So here's a couple here. Here's the Tangle in Bloom. And again, I used 2 colors of the Positively inks. This is on watercolor paper. And then I just brought in a brush, moved that color around, added some gems, red gems in the corner. I've taken something that maybe someone wouldn't see Christmas and turned it into a Christmas look, a Christmas greenery. Added my sentiment down here, Tangled Joy. And then I have my topper. I did the same thing with the Tangled Mandala. I stamped that off to the side. Again, these are our Simon Says Positively inks. It's a dye ink, so they're water reactive. Once I had them stamped, I came in with a wet brush, moved that color around, created a gemstone with some watercolors, and then added some splatters. You knew splatters were coming in eventually. And added my sentiment along the top in vellum, Merry Christmas. We can even go larger with our ornaments. Why not? So here we've got the Tangle in Bloom with the flux, added berries all over, just place those red berries all over. This is a sprayed background after I stamped it. I brought in Lumberjack Distress Stain, and then after I sprayed it, add a lot of water to it, and then I literally let it sit like this so that it would pull down. So this got lighter, and there's the winter storm that came in, and then I put Merry and Bright down the side. Here is the Tangled Christmas stamp, because here's the flower. So here we just have all the tangles just sitting here. It's already an ornament that's stamped, but now we're putting it on an ornament. So it's just showing that area there. This is Speckled Egg, darker up here, let it go lighter down here. And of course, had to have Vintage Photo come in, right? And I have that on the bottom. Added my sentiment across and 2 very fine strips of cardstock across the top and the bottom. So nice size ornament, sparkles, and I heat embossed that one. And then finally, the Wave of Tangles, kept that just with the black ink. Again, I used my Obsidian by Altenew on this one, just added the graphite and then a vellum strip with the Sentiment Tangled Joy and 2 black strips on the top and the bottom. Could have had gold there or silver, whatever you want. And then the backs are just the solid cardstocks. Okay, so cards, ornaments, tags, bookmarks. Just like with any stamp that we have in our stamps, in our stash, we can do anything we want with it. And you are going to see some other things that someone very special to me has done. The beauty of stamps is how we interpret them, how we see them. So here's another announcement, because I'm going to have more as we go through. There's a couple more coming through here. Make sure you stay tuned tomorrow night, where I am going live with Biddy Penny. I know a lot of you know Biddy. She's hidden here somewhere. Hello. We are going to go live tomorrow. We're going to be announcing it. Right now, I believe, if I remember, and Biddy, please correct me if I'm wrong, we're going at 6 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Eastern. It's one of those times. She will put it in the chat, and I will be laughing because, yeah, just saying. But I will be live with Biddy tomorrow night, having fun with how we are creating. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and all those details will be down in the video description as well. Now, also, for my next announcement. So, for those of you that are tanglers, maybe you don't want a stamp set. You're like, oh, these are beautiful. I'd love to see them. Next up, what I have also created are online courses for each of these stamp set images. So if we look at a Tangle in Bloom, again, this is Flux. This is what your online course will be teaching you. All right, and this is what I'm actually showing. So this is what you will learn. All right, there are 4 classes that will be available, and each of these classes are $15. And they are over, either just over or close to 2 hours in length, each of them. So this is the class, A Tangle in Bloom. This is the class of A Wave of Tangles. So a different take on what the stamp set. Stamp set's kind of like in an oval shape that's waving around. This one kind of grew. and grew across the page. But this is exactly what you will be shown. Here is the Tangled Christmas. And you can see we got a lot fuller here because, again, it's just like what I say. If I have supplies and you have the exact same supplies and we follow the exact same steps, they will never look alike. That's the beauty of our art that we create. So again, this is what you'll see in the class. And then finally, for a tangled mandala, this is the one that you will see in the class. You will see not only what the original stamp looked like and how we map this out, but you will also learn and see how we get print tomps in there, how we do diva dance, rock and roll, and how we add all of these wonderful additions to this piece. I go over the supplies I use and the alternatives that you can use, and I will take you step by step when it comes to these online courses. So remember, the online courses are to tangle with me. There's also a class, an online class in there where all 4 of these have been put together in one course. And of course, that would be at a discount as well. Okay, it's not a bundled product. It's all the courses put into one online course. So I've also bundled these as well for you. All right, so we've got Tangle classes, and you'll also see there is, if you want to know more about Zentangle and the Zentangle method, which is what I follow as a certified instructor, I do also have the introduction to Zentangle available for you. All right, so that's there. And you're going to see many other courses coming. The headers are already set up. We've just got to build those in my online store. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's what I have been driving you crazy about for a week. We've created our own stamp line. Remember, these are available on my website, www.includeathankyou.com. Now, if you should go there, all right, and they should sell out, all right, or be sold out when you go to place your order, scroll down to the bottom of the page. There is a banner there that says notify me. Just put your first name and your email so that I know that you are interested in this. It's the one issue that I was having. We're trying, it should just automatically, click over for that, and it's not. So I created just a line there at the bottom that you can fill out. And that's if you're interested in the bundle or each of the individual stamps. Okay, so if it's sold out, just scroll to the bottom again and fill out that notify me. All right, and then I will be notified by you. It's awesome. I'll get all those beautiful notifications. You'll also be able to, at the bottom, if you want to contact me for any reason, you can do that too if you have any questions at all. Do not hesitate to ask. Now, I'm sure the one question that people are asking, are these going to be available for international? Yes. I have opened up the shop and my website for international shipping. Whether I'm shipping in the U.S. or whether I'm shipping outside of the U.S., it is a flat rate. Okay, completely flat rate. For international, I did the best that I could. Okay, but just know it's a flat rate. All right, so if you get, whether you order one stamp or you get all 4, it's a flat rate. All right, and just know that I believe for international, what I've chosen is, you should receive it in 7, I think 10 to 14 days, or maybe 10 to 21. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, yeah, I have it listed there, so you'll be able to see that, and what the length is. All right, but everything, no matter if it's US or international, it's flat rate. Also, guys, just know that I am a sea of one. I am one person. So everything will ship out. It says everything will ship out within 7 to 10 days. I'm just going to need that little bit of time. I'm sure they'll ship out sooner, and you will be notified once it's in the hands of the post office. Sorry about that. Someone was knocking at my door. Of course. Because if you're like me, once you get notified, you start counting the days. It's like, yes. That's what I do. All right. So you will be notified once it is in the hands of the United States Post Office. All right. Please keep in mind that once they have it, things are just out of my control. But you always have a way to contact me through my website. I have a contact form. Please just contact me and ask me your questions. I will be keeping an eye on that. Now, that will not take me 7 to 10 days to get back to you. I'm just saying. But just remember, I am a sea of one. I'm just saying. Okay? I think that's it. I think that's it. Guys, thank you so much for being here and being part of my journey. I'm taking you all along with me. You all inspire me so much. And thank you for this opportunity. I absolutely am in love with this. I'm hoping, well, I know more will be coming. So many ideas when it comes to this. Any questions that you have, you can leave them down below. And again, all of the information will be down below. I'm sure, Biddy, make sure you have your YouTube channel as well linked in the chat and the time that you and I will be going live. I'm really looking forward to it. And guys, I hope you have a great day. Take care. Thank you. And remember, enjoy your art. Enjoy the art that you create. Know it is art. It is how you interpret it. And if you take any of these ideas, have fun with them. Make them your own. But remember, it's art. And enjoy the process. Don't get stressed. Look out for more videos from me when it comes to this collection to show you just how I made some of the samples. But let me know down in the chat too, which sample did you like? And which one would you like to see? And we'll take it from there. But remember, guys, what's most important for me? Always be creative. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Till then.